Hey guys, welcome back to the next episode. Today is going to be number 8. This one's been probably fairly requested. So, as you know, most of my stuff is about weight loss, but it doesn't matter how much weight you lose, doesn't matter how fast you lose the weight. If you can't maintain your results, for what purpose was all of the effort you put into your diet? So, today's episode we're talking about maintenance calories, how to go from diet calories to your maintenance calories, how to figure out what maintenance is, what it feels like, and then some different ways you can adjust it. Now, this won't really be too long of an episode. It is, funnily enough, a very simple process to follow, but in terms of getting results, it's easy. The lower in calories you go, the faster you're going to lose weight. However, when you're at finding maintenance or learning how to eat at maintenance, your maintenance is always a moving target, or at least slightly anyway. Some people have more adaptive metabolisms as well. So obviously as you lose weight, your metabolism can trend downwards. And then as you get back to maintenance and even a very small surplus, people can actually then just spontaneously start doing more activity and the metabolism starts to increase. Now, if you're obviously listening to my content, then you are not on that spectrum. You probably have a pretty stable metabolism and you tend to have to sort of really watch everything that you eat. But I've had clients who I've trained who just struggle to put on weight. It's more of a luxury problem than anything. But I digress. We'll talk about exactly how to get to maintenance, what maintenance feels like, and then in later episodes, we'll talk about different strategies that you can use to implement around your maintenance as well. So, you've lost all the weight you want to lose, you're looking great, how do we maintain your weight, or how do we find your new maintenance? So I've got a few dot points here I'm going to go through. So far too many people gain the weight back that they lose because they go back into their old habits. All right, so it doesn't matter how fast you lose it. What matters most is what you do at the end of your diet. So you have to accept the fact that yes, you do get to eat more calories than your weight loss calories, but as soon as you start eating above your new maintenance calories, that's when you get into trouble and start gaining the fat back. Old habits die hard, so you can't go back to eating out 4 days a week, drinking every weekend, and expect to keep your results. Okay, you can't be the same person that was overweight and continue those habits and expect to keep all the results that you got. It just isn't going to work. But the easiest and fastest way to just estimate your calories and get an idea is to use a calorie calculator, the one that I have for free on my profile. So whether you're listening to this on YouTube, my Instagram profile, TikTok, whichever platform, there's always a link in my descriptions in terms of the calorie calculator that I use. Now, you can use any calculator online. There is one called the TDEE-calculator.net. There's a caloriecalculator.net. They're all roughly the same. They're going to probably give you maybe 100 or so calorie difference. So if you've been dieting on low calories, it doesn't matter how low your calories have been, let's say it's 800, 1200, 1600, whatever it is, you're at the point where you want to start going back to your maintenance calories. You no longer want to lose any more weight or fat. There's a few different ways you can go about it. So the first option is you can slowly increase your calories back to your maintenance or near your maintenance. So this is what people call a reverse diet. I don't really like to call it that, but it's basically where you take a couple of hundred calories per week, 100 or 200 calories per week. Let's say you're dieting on 1200 calories, then the next week you're dieting or you're back up to 1400 calories, then the next week you're up to 1600 calories, and then your maintenance might be 1800 calories. So the week after that, you increase it by another 200, or at least very much near what your maintenance calories would be as per the calculator. Now, the other option is you can simply go back to your new maintenance overnight. It's as simple as that. So let's say you've lost 10 kilos and your old maintenance was 2500 and your new maintenance is now 2300. You can simply go from eating whatever the amount was, 1200 calories, up to 2300 calories the very next day. That's it. All right, as simple as that. Now, most people, when you go from low calories, and I'll explain how this works, When you go from low calories to maintenance calories, you will gain immediate weight and measurements back. Now, it won't be a great deal, and it does trend off very quickly, so it does even out very quickly. But what happens is when you're on low calories, when you're dieting down, you're losing body fat consistently, you're in a semi-dehydrated state. Or think of it as when you're at maintenance, you're fully fed, you're fully hydrated, you're eating more food, there's more food in your system. When you go from maintenance calories to low calories, let's say it's 1200, you're basically eating half the amount of food, okay? You're probably eating less carbohydrates than you usually would, probably more protein-based foods. You're just inside your body, there's less food going on, there's less glycogen being stored, there's less water being stored, there's probably less sodium in your overall diet. So you're just in a dehydrated state. Think of it like a dried out sponge, or even like you put a sponge, like a dish sponge, underwater, and then you wring it out. There's still a little bit of hydration in there, but it's mostly fairly light. Now, when you go back to maintenance calories, it's like putting that sponge back underwater, and it's then hydrated again. But the sponge doesn't keep absorbing more water. It basically only hydrates up to a certain level. The only difference is if you keep eating above your maintenance calories, you will then start to continuously start gaining the weight back. So that's the one thing we're trying to avoid. Now, don't be afraid of the initial weight gain or the initial water retention or bloating. It does level off pretty quickly. Most people sort of see the scale jump up and they see the initial measurements jump up and they freak out and go back to low calories. All right, and you're not meant to be on low calories forever. So, how do you know you've actually hit your maintenance calories? So, usually what I would expect, or at least tell clients, is past the initial 1 to 2 centimeter gain on your waist, and the increase in your weight. That's pretty much about maintenance calories. All right. If you then continue to keep gaining past that point, you're probably then eating a bit too much. Now, this does take a little bit of practice to get used to in terms of what that feels like, what maintenance calories feels like. But that's in short. If you continue to keep gaining centimeters around your waist, then you are most likely in a small surplus. So when you do increase your calories, you'll gain some weight immediately on the scale, maybe a centimeter or two and a centimeter on the waist or so, but it has nothing to do with fat, all right? It's purely just hydration. I'm just trying to drive that point home. So within my system that I have, so we have healthier waist targets. So once you've achieved your level of leanness and you're happy with that, you should be able to hit your waist numbers relatively easy. So in my programs, I have an upper limit and I have a lower limit. As long as you're between those two numbers, you're going to be healthy. So what I would usually recommend is whatever weight that you would like to be at. Now, I don't like using weight as a set indicator for health, because people have an idea in their mind like, I want to weigh this amount, which is sometimes not realistic, or there is no reason why. But let's say, for example, you want to weigh 55 kilos as a female, right? You most likely will need to diet down to maybe 51, 52, because when you go back to maintenance and then you eat more calories, you will gain a little bit of weight back, and that's just hydration, and that will probably put you at about 54, 55 at a hydrated maintenance weight. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. The exact same process also happens for guys, which is part of the reason why I'm more heavily focused on the waist measurements. So even if you hydrate back up, but your waist stays the same, perfect, you're still the same size, regardless of whether the scale weight says. So tracking your progress during maintenance. So with calorie counting, it is a tool. You don't have to calorie count forever, but I do find that it is very helpful to go from low calories to maintenance calories and still track your calories, at least diligently, for at least a month or two thereafter. So you don't need to count calories forever. It's a tool just to help you get to your goal. You also don't need to weigh yourself daily, which is something that I recommend for clients to do. Again, it's just a tool to help achieve your goal. Now, maintenance does also change depending on your life. So if you go from a sedentary job up to an active job and you're doing 15,000 steps a day, then you will probably have a higher maintenance. Whereas if you were really active during your fat loss phase and then you stop being active, then your maintenance will decrease. So when you're at maintenance, and this is relative to fat loss. Fat loss is relatively easy. You just eat low calories, you lose weight. You do it for long enough, you'll get abs. Whereas if you are eating close to maintenance calories on a daily basis, it's like walking a tightrope. Some days you might be slightly over, some days you might be slightly under. Now, I would probably say most people don't go out of their way to be a pig of themselves and just eat copious amounts of food every single day. In my opinion, what I feel as though contributes to weight gain over the long term is, number one, lack of awareness, just being aware of the energy in food and just food that you eat. So if you just go out with friends and you don't care about what you eat, it's just, I'm going out socially, I'm going to eat and drink, you're most likely going to eat more than you need. So incorporating the fact that you'll probably need to watch your food to some degree or some level for the rest of your life, and accepting that fact is perfectly healthy and perfectly safe. It's not an eating disorder or anything like that. Some people just have a high appetite, or they just like to eat a lot of food above what their body just needs. And that's how we get into trouble in the first place. So what I would usually say to most people is, throughout the week, 95% of the week, you probably eat very close to maintenance calories if you were just left to your own devices, right? So the way I see weight gain happens, and this happens over many months and years, is when you have social events and you're basically eating more calories than you need, because you'd probably eat your entire day's worth of food, your breakfast, lunch and dinner on a Friday, and then Friday night, catch up with the girls or boys happens, and then you go out and you have some pizza that you probably wouldn't have had otherwise, and you have some extra drinks, and then you're probably maybe a little bit hungover the next day, and then you might get a large breakfast. And it may not be too many calories over your maintenance. It might be only 300 or 400 on a Saturday, and then you might tip over maybe 100 or 200 on the Sunday. But those little accumulations add up over the course of weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months and months. And that's how people wake up one day and look at themselves in the mirror and go, how did they get into this situation? Because most of the time they're probably eating very close to maintenance. So maintenance, and here's a really good analogy, maintenance is like keeping a room clean. So nothing really changes over time, and it can become messy if you don't keep it in order. Now, I can't remember where I heard that quote, but I thought it was quite good. So maintenance takes practice. It isn't, I would probably say majority of people who do lose weight will probably gain some weight back, but it is really up to you in terms of how quickly you can get back on track. It's much easier to lose a couple of kilos on the scale if you go up a little bit and you come down a little bit. You know, if you've just been a bit lax with your training, your nutrition's gone out the window a little bit. I do find one of the best things that you can do is any old clothes that you've got, get rid of them, because if you do have quote unquote your overweight clothes or your fat clothes in your cupboard still, and they're still there ready for you to fit into, it's very easy for you to go up from one pair of jeans to the next pair of jeans because they're in there, it's safe. If you get rid of it, if you're a guy, get rid of all your old suits that don't fit, buy new suits, buy new clothes, and buy clothes that are unforgiving, and you'll immediately know if you have gained weight or not. And it's just a matter of you getting back on the wagon, tracking for a couple of weeks instead of a couple of months, and you can easily lose that 1 or 2 kilos that you may have gained. And it's much easier to do it on a week by week or month by month basis than it is to let yourself go for 6 months and then try and lose all that weight again for 6 months. So what we're going to do is, in the next episode, I'm going to cover off some maintenance strategies, so little things and tips and tricks that you can start implementing that can help you adhere to your maintenance calories. So today's one was just basically getting to the point of how do you work out your maintenance and what's the steps to get there. You can do it slowly, you can do it overnight, it really makes no difference. Some people will find that they can continue increasing calories past a certain point because they have an adaptive metabolism. Some people can't. Again, it just takes a bit of trial and error. Part of the reason of having a coach is also something that I do for clients. I help people get back to the maintenance without sort of freaking out. And yeah, in the next episode, we're going to talk about specifically strategies and useful tips that will help you to stick to your maintenance calories. And this will include things like setting specific goals, possible fasting, the one tip I just recommended, getting rid of old clothes, things like that. So we're going to talk about that in a lot more detail in the next episode. Anyway, if you found this helpful, make sure you like and subscribe on whichever platform you're listening to. Again, if you ever need any help, I offer one-to-one coaching. The links will be in the descriptions on any platform that you're listening to. And if you found this helpful and think someone else would find this helpful, please do send this on to someone else, because this is all free content that I just want to give you to try and just make your weight loss journey as much as possible. These are the things that I wish I knew when I first started, and that's information I'm trying to present to you. All right, guys, thank you for listening, and I will speak to you next time.